Hello, everybody. We are with you again with the Three Money Amigos. I am Brent Simpson, co founder of Investing Education Academy, and I am with the lovely Joyce Sistrunk. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Sistrunk of Premier Group, a CPA firm in the DC metropolitan area, and we are just kind of recovering from tax day being yesterday. Yay!
Yay, for some. And the third Money Amigo is attorney Beverly Winstead from the Winstead Law Group. She is, again, like many, recovering from tax season. So we figured it'd be a good time to come to you all live and talk about what you should do if you did not file your taxes by the deadline yesterday, which was April 18th, nor did you file an extension to file your taxes. Um, yeah, you're probably sitting there like biting your nails, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize the deadline was the 18th. I thought it was the 15th. It was an extension. What do I do now? How do I cope? What do I like? You're going crazy with your thoughts. Listen to the Three Money Amigos. We're going to talk about your options here. And still, we suggest that you consult your tax professional because we don't know every person's individual situation. Don't take this as the absolute gospel, but this will point you in the right direction on how to correct your situation. So I am going to kind of turn it over to Joy to kind of tell us what some of our options are. If what are our options? If it's now the 19th, we realize, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I don't have my paperwork together. I didn't file an extension. I haven't even talked to a tax advisor. Um, what should a person do?
Wow. So then you are at ground zero. You want to first, this week, you want to take this week probably to gather your paperwork and start looking, asking for recommendations from your friends and family, kind of looking at your situation and trying to find a tax professional. But I can tell you they are in short supply these days. Good ones are in short supply. They really are, because this season especially has really been hard on us as CPAs and tax professionals and tax attorneys, and so there are going to be far and few in between. So you need to start making some calls to figure out, one, who can take you as a client, and then two, once they can take you, you want to have your paperwork ready to submit so that you can get it done. You don't need to get it done, well, you should have had it done yesterday, but if you didn't, what you want to do is get it done as quickly as possible, because penalties and interest, if you owe money, start to accrue from yesterday.
Now, if a person is a day late and they want to file an extension, can you still file an extension after?
No, nope.
Ooh,
You can only file an extension up to midnight last night. EST here. If you're on the West Coast, 12 midnight, wherever you are.
okay, so that's really important information because I know some of you all thinking, well, I'm just gonna go file my extension now. This is why you listen to the Free Money
Three
Amigos.
amigos.
So you're wrong. Let me just say that if you were thinking, oh, I'll just file my extension now, at this point you're in the penalty and
In the
interest
penalty
space.
box.
So you want to get it done as quickly as possible because depending on the type of company you have, um, those penalties can be pretty stiff.
They
And
can.
now, if we're contacting a professional at this point, is it better to get the filing in as quickly as possible and then maybe amend it later with all the other information, or is it at this point just get
At
everything?
this point, you want it to be as right as possible. So I'm not, it depends on how much you, because let's say, let's just give you an example. Let's say you give me half the information now and your balance was $1,000, but we amend that you owe $5,000. They're going to backdate it to yesterday, no matter what. So I guess in that case, it would be better for you to have all of your documents as much as possible. And if you're unable to locate them, one thing to note is that after May, that's when the IRS actually gathers all the documentation sent in by everyone about you, so you can actually call the IRS and get a transcript of what they've received of what income you have.
Okay. And right now, everyone should understand the IRS is behind.
Hmm.
So if you all are out there thinking, well, everything's submitted, I should have my, refund check, or they would have processed my payment like next week. Nah.
No, not even close. There's still, we're hearing still about 20 million returns and paper, because people have had to mail stuff. They're very behind.
So
Very, very.
just don't expect a quick turnaround. And if you do call and they have not gotten to your information yet, don't throw a fit, because we are telling you ahead of time. Hopefully, again, these conversations are helping you all understand what you can do or where you are in regards to service being provided by the IRS, or what your responsibility is getting your information into the IRS. And then also, when you're kind of interacting with your tax professionals, don't stress them out calling every day asking for an update when you know they can't get the information because the IRS is backed up. It's only so much they can do.
Once we submit it, it's actually out of our hands. We have no control of when you get your money, when it comes back to you, if you're getting a letter. All we know is we submitted it. I mean, we had a client last week who said, "Oh, they reduced my refund." That's what the website said. Said, "Well, you have to wait for the letter." Like, there's nothing we can do. We can't go by what the website says. We need the official communication to actually be able to resolve any issues.
And let's go through some myths that some people have. And I'm
Okay,
gonna
good.
let's be the myth busters for you all. Your tax professional does not determine what your return is in the end.
Mm-mm.
They
No,
give you a report of what it could be based off the information that
you
you give them.
provide. Yeah,
If
true.
the IRS contacts you and says something came up in their findings, it could be something that you neglected to give to your tax professional. So please don't think they have a crystal ball and that by default that the information you gave them, although limited, you expect them to have a complete picture. That is a myth. Another thing that's a myth: your tax professional can't call the IRS and bully them into making whatever your wishes are come true.
True.
And I've seen I've heard stories of situations where people call into their tax professionals expecting whatever it is they want to come true, their tax professional to make it come true.
No.
You can't.
We're not your fairy godmother. We can't, you know.
Another myth: the money that you are getting in a return, that you believe you might get in a return, does not go to your tax professional and then they send it to you.
Right.
It goes to you.
It
So
goes
if
to
you have not received it yet, neither have they, because they would never receive it.
That's true.
Heard that story too. Like, oh, well, they must have my money. No, they don't.
Mm-mm.
Another thing, when you give your tax professional information, it's all they can go from. If there's something else that you have not told them about, there is no way for them to really know about it.
True. 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 And true.
What other myths are there out there, Joy?
Myths that we can, I guess, anything that we control any of the process. Once we submit everything, it really is out of our hands. That if you get a notice, it means that we did something wrong. Notices can sometimes be either missing information, it could be something, it could be an IRS mistake. They do make mistakes too. So it could be all kinds of reasons that you get a notice. A notice is not necessarily the professional's fault. And that,
Yes.
of course, with anything else, it's not an absolute, but not always our fault when you get a tax notice.
And so I will tell you all some myths on the investing side. So if you are investing and you are not submitting your interest 1099 INTs
Mm-hmm.
to your tax professionals, they won't know about your investment account. They won't know what to submit unless you tell them. Another myth: your profit will never be found out by the IRS.
Ooh, that's a good one.
If you made a profit, it I'm not saying they won't, but I'm telling you, you are responsible. That's a fact. You are responsible for paying the interest and the taxes on the money that you've made from investing. If you are investing in like some type of qualified account, you do not pay taxes on the qualified account, depending on whether or not you're taking withdrawals from the qualified account. Again, this is something I've seen people pull money out of a retirement account and think because it's a retirement account, they don't pay taxes. It
Oh,
depends on
let
what.
me add to that one. So with the retirement account, not only do you have to pay taxes, it's for that year. You can't just get the form and say, "Oh, I'm going to report it on the next year." You have to report it in the year you actually receive the money and or the year that the form says. Because one of the things that happens a lot of times is people will leave a job and have an open loan on their 401k and they get a form and they're like, "I didn't get this money." You did. You took the money out a long time ago, but when you leave the job, it's going to be reported in that year and you have to pay taxes on it in that year that you got the form.
And let's go down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're still at the company while the loan is outstanding, you will not be responsible
Nope,
for that
not
loan.
responsible.
Also, if you have an investment account but you have not sold anything, you're just holding positions, you will not be taxed on those holdings. It's once you sell is when
Mhm.
it becomes a taxable event.
Event.
And also, every time you sell, it's not that you are paying taxes. Sometimes you're capturing loss. So
Mhm.
not every loss means that you're being assessed tax, because sometimes people sell stocks because they're trying to capture the loss so they can offset against other income. So there's strategies to these things, and this is why you want to talk to professionals. There may be stocks that you should sell just for the fact of the offset,
Mhm.
but you think, oh well, it's down, so it's useless. No, it can actually be very useful to you depending on how much money you make as a lost investment.
Right.
So there are ways to it. If you have whole life insurance and it's appreciated since you first opened the whole life insurance policy, it is not a taxable event. However, if you pull out money via viatical agreement, if you're doing, depending on the type of exchange you've pursued, or if you just pull money out as a loan and then closed out the insurance policy, that is now a taxable situation if you have
Mhm.
closed the insurance policy. If it's still open and it's a loan, there's not a taxable event because it's a loan, it's not income. If you have closed, I'm saying it twice, I know. If you've closed that life insurance policy, it then becomes a taxable event without paying back the money. And if you have done a viatical agreement, I want to say viatical agreements get preferential treatment if you have done it, but at the same time, it is a taxable event. So some of these things to think about. We just wanted to give you some thoughts. Like, what do you do if
Mhm.
if you haven't filed your taxes and you didn't file an extension? We went down, gave you some extra tidbits of information.
And I didn't say, if this is the first time that
Mm,
you've missed a deadline or you haven't filed an extension, once you do file your taxes, you can call them or not call or mail them a letter and request a first time penalty abatement. And they will do that if you have been consistently on time with your taxes. So that is an option. We did not talk about that.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And again, for that, I suggest you consult the professional. There will be a cost for the consultation. Tax professionals don't work for free. If you are thinking about investing, we have fees. But if we can save you from making a mistake that you just won't even recognize
Mhm.
until you get a letter later on, it's well worth it. And I've talked to, I've consulted a lot of people who think, oh, I can do my own. I'm just going to fill out this template and I'll get the maximum benefit back from my taxes. Or I'm gonna fill out this template. It's going to tell me exactly how to invest. Good luck. That's really the best I can say is I wouldn't do it, but good luck.
Exactly.
Both Beverly and Joy, I'm a client of, because I know that I'm absolutely going to have holes in understanding even loans outstanding and how those loans outstanding play into your taxes. If you receive government funding for something,
Hmm.
if you received any type of like COVID-19 relief funding, how do these things play into your taxes? It's very important to know that. Where does it go on the forms? What is it counted as? These questions I think are more than enough reason to consult a professional. But listening to the Three Money Amigos podcast can also help. So if you want to go to www.threemoneyamigos.com, you can hear some of our podcasts. We will be back next Tuesday around 2 p.m. So we are getting back on schedule. It was tax season for me. I will own it. It was spring break for my kids last week. But we're doing our best to make sure that your money is in a position that helps you really grow. So we are missing one of the Three Money Amigos. Again, her
Hmm.
name is Attorney Beverly Winstead. She's a tax attorney. You can go to www.irshelpattorneys.com, or you can go to www.winsteadlawgroup.com and find her, schedule an appointment if you'd like to sit down with her. And Joy, if they're trying to get in contact with you.
They can reach us at 301-577-6444 or www.pgs-cpa.com.
Yes. And if you've been looking for the Three Money Amigos, or really myself, Brent Simpson, the co-founder of Investing Education Academy, because you're thinking, I would love to start investing. I want to make my money work for me. I know we're in an inflationary environment. It's very important that as much of my money works as hard as you can find us at www.ieanow.com. Again, www.ieanow.com. Make sure your money's working for you as hard as you're working for your money. So with that being said, we thank you all for being with the Money Amigos, and we will see you next Tuesday, 2-ish. So we'll do our best to make it 2 o'clock. Have a